a speech, another promise. It's too good to be true. You're right to feel that way, because for too long, we've been told to expect less, to accept less. But this time, it's different. The UNC is ready to invest in you, in education that excites, industries that inspire, and opportunity that lifts us all. It's not a dream, it's a plan. On April 28th, vote UNC, because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
When UNC wins, I want to tell you, businesses win. Businesses win with lower taxes, with investments in port operations, lower security costs, more forex, and a focus on growing micro, small, and medium enterprises. Businesses win with the UNC because we will establish a national commission on the banking and financial sector to make sure citizens are not exploited by the fees and interest rate spreads in the banking sector, and that financial institutions perform the essential development role of converting national savings into national investment. This same commission that we will establish, a national commission on banking and financial sector, will also work to ensure a fair distribution of forex. They will deregulate financial bureaucracy and make it easier for businesses to conduct their transactions. I say when the UNC wins, businesses win. But I say more, when the UNC wins, families win. Now let me tell you how. Families win. Families win with no property taxes. Families win with lower food prices. Families win with no hikes in electricity and water rates. you will have more money in your pockets to spend to uplift your families. Families will win when we give them legal firearms to defend their homes and their loved ones. I say when the UNC wins, businesses win, families win. And I say more, when UNC wins, your children win. Your children win. Your children will win with a full complement of required teachers, deans of discipline, security officers, school safety officers, and police officers in schools to protect your children. You will not have to worry your child is being bullied every day at school. We will send the TTPS full-time into our schools to stop children being terrorized and mentally damaged by bullies in our schools. Too many children are going into depression. They live in daily fear. I will protect your children. They win with guidance counselors, school social workers, clinical psychologists, and doctors looking after our students to stop depression, anxiety, and suicides in our children. Our children will win with the UNC, with laptops, textbooks, expanded gate, and scholarships. Remember, they shut the gate. Remember, they shut down the laptop program. Remember, they stopped the free textbook program. They have cut down on the number of scholarships. Win with the UNC, and your children will win with the UNC. And of course, our children will win when we open that beautiful Debe UWI campus right here in the Southland. Right here. Right here. So I said communities, families, children, workers. When UNC wins, senior citizens also win. Because we will protect the pensions of senior citizens. Remember I told you about that bill, huh? Anybody here remembers? You know that bill is still on the order paper of the parliament? Remember they said they're withdrawing it? It is still there. You know what they're waiting for? They feel all your dotish and foolish. You'll vote back for them, and that will be one of the first bills they will come to pass in the parliament. So protect your pensions, protect your public assistance, vote with the UNC, win with the UNC. We will ensure that our senior citizens have continued access to CDAP. CDAP. They have cut that program so much. And then they have their friends in a cabal. I'll talk to you about another day because I have the data of all the big boys in their cabal. The big businesses who are supplying the medications to our hospitals. So, you're not getting the CDAP. They've cut it down. They will not review the formulary, which is a book for which drugs to bring in. I know Jags has spoken about that before, about that cabal. They will not review the formulary. So we have outdated medications on that book. And of course, why? Because they belong to friends and financiers and suppliers of specific medications, which we can change. Any doctor will tell you that. We have to change. The world has moved on. There are more modern medications, cheaper medications.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country.
Thank you very much, and you may now all have your seats. Honorable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, candidates, colleagues all, members of the National Executive of the UNC, local government representatives, our online viewers on our social media platforms, you the members of our audience, our supporters, a pleasant good evening and welcome to our town hall meeting here in Tunapuna at Hillview College. This evening we are focused on the social issues affecting Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm sure all of you are very interested in our discussions to be held here this evening. As we begin, we the members of the UNC wish to extend to the students and staff of the Hillview College and the family of Mr. Raul Gajada, an exceptional educator of the Hillview College who would have passed away yesterday. We extend our sincerest condolences to all. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. And before I move on, are we ready to take governance on April 28th? As we come together to restore dignity and support our people, I stand before you not only as a candidate of the UNC, not only as the candidate for the constituency of Chaguanas, but with the solemn responsibility as the UNC's shadow point person for social services. Today, we do not bring fancy headlines to you or photo ops. Today we bring the truth. We bring the voice of the single mother struggling to stretch $500 for an entire month. The disabled child waiting 2 years or more for a wheelchair or a disability grant. We bring to you the grandmother standing in the scorching heat for a pension, and the domestic abuse survivor praying for a safe place to sleep tonight. This, my friends, this, members of our audience, this is the real Trinidad and Tobago under this cold, calculating PNM regime. We say to you this evening, when the state forgets its people, it ceases to lead, but rather it begins to rule. Let us not mince words, but let us speak the facts. The PNM has crippled our social services sector in this country. They have not only failed, but they have forsaken the vulnerable. They have not only failed, but they have forsaken the vulnerable. What we are witnessing across the country is not just bad governance, it is deliberate abandonment. They shut down community centers, starved the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. They slashed NGO funding and have presided over a system where you need to beg for a grant, pray for help, and line up in shame to survive in this country. The PNM don't serve you. They surveil you. They monitor you. They monitor your savings. They don't care about your children. They parade, and they are only concerned with what suits their campaign trail. I want to share with you a little bit about the Carson Field National Enrichment Center. The Carson Field betrayal, a national shame. Let us talk plainly about what happened at Carson Field, right here in Trinidad and Tobago. You know what happened? The PNM government evicted the disabled children. Yes, they evicted children with special needs from the National Therapeutic Center. They evicted them without care. They evicted them without mercy and without shame. And now, like thieves in the night, yesterday, they come back with cameras. Yesterday, they came back with cameras and ribbon cutting, pretending as if they are doing the nation a favor, pretending as if they are doing the disabled a favor. Imagine that. They destroyed a lifeline, and then months before an election, you pretend you are the savior. You are the savior for the disabled community. Well, hear this. I want you to hear this loud and clear. We, the UNC, were there when the lights went off on the disabled community in Trinidad and Tobago. We were there when the doors were closed. We were there when the children cried. The children of the disabled community cried. And with the help of the private sector, we outfitted a new space. With the help and instruction of the opposition leader and political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we outfitted a space for the disabled community of Trinidad and Tobago in the community of Shogunas. We brought back therapy, smiles, and hope to the disabled community, not for votes, not on the eve of election, but because it was the right thing to do for the disabled community of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is the difference between the UNC and the PNM. We serve the people, they stage. How can we describe our social services sector under the PNM? We can only describe it as a broken system. Real people, real pain. Right now in this country, and I'm sure you can share the same sentiments as I am here this evening, elderly citizens are lining up from 4 a.m. to receive pensions that are still late. And you know what? Your pensions are now being threatened. Your savings are being threatened. You know what's happening right now in our social services sector under the PNM? Children homes are underfunded, while children are trafficked and lost in the system. Mothers of disabled children are being denied grants because the system says, come back next month, bring more documents. Right now in our social services sector, the homeless are sleeping at ATM booths. I'm sure you know this, because shelters are either filled or non-existent in our country. Right now in our social services sector under the PNM, the ministry's only answer to the poor and the vulnerable is that of more talk, more ribbon cutting, and more betrayal. I want to share with you, though, the UNC's legacy in the social services sector. And let us not forget who brought real transformation when we were in office. Remember the Children's Life Fund, a global model for saving young lives. I want to share with you, 2 days ago, I was doing a walkabout on Rodney Road, Endeavour, and a gentleman said to me, "Miss Mohit, wait, I need to show you something." I waited. He took a few minutes. I wondered why he was taking so long. It's because he moved. And he brought out someone. When he brought out that person, it was a child. And he said to me, "You always hear Mrs. Persad-Bissessar, our honorable leader, preaching about what she did with Life Fund, how the UNC saved children's lives." When this gentleman brought out this child, he held her in his arms and he said to me, "This is the result of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Doctors flew in. When they couldn't do the job, this child flew out and received the care. This is the result of the Children's Life Fund, one of my constituents." And that child, I asked, I said, "How is she doing now?" He said, "As you can see, Kamla Persad-Bissessar has her alive and well." And these are the things we must celebrate. This is the legacy of the UNC. Children's Life Fund helped our children who were in need. The UNC's legacy was that of action and not excuses. The UNC's legacy was that of where you received the food card, food on the table for thousands. We never removed 18,000 food card recipients from the system and then overnight come in here to say, "Oh, I know the price of flour." We consult, we review, and we govern. And we had food on the tables of thousands of vulnerable persons. The UNC's legacy, we expanded social grants. We never had your pension under threat. We never had your savings under threat. We brought the baby grant for single mothers. The UNC's legacy, we had community outreach and direct impact flowing throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. I remember I worked there, and the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar was my boss. And she had us throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, helping the poor, helping the vulnerable, helping those who were in need via community outreach and direct impact program, helping those in need immediately. And during times of crisis, you would remember the UNC's legacy in the social services sector, like floods, times of crisis, economic hardship. We stepped in immediately. We, the UNC, we put on our boots, we placed our boots in our vehicles, put it on when we see the floods, and we are out there helping the poor and vulnerable in time of crisis, just to protect our people. That is our legacy, and that is our promise moving forward, to restore dignity and hope in our people of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm saying, are you agreeing with me thus far? I want to share with you that apart from the social services sector, we, the UNC, have been in opposition. We have faced COVID as well, but without funds and resources, every representative, whether you sit in the parliament, or you sit in local government, or you sit on the NATEX of the UNC, our instructions and our motive are always to get out on the field, find the help, mobilize your people, and assist the poor and vulnerable. Never forget, we were out there sharing masks. We were out there delivering food items. We were out there advocating for the poor and vulnerable. So we must come together. And on April 28, we must vote. Why we must vote? We must vote to restore the hope in our people. We must vote to deal with the root causes of crime. We must vote to deal with the issues affecting our people daily and by the minute. We must not allow our issues to grow on us. We must not allow our vulnerable population to grow on us. We must work together as one unit. We must work together as one force. And when you support us, we will support you. When you support us, you give us that great opportunity of going into government and dispersing the resources accordingly, dispersing the resources to those most in need, and of course, bringing happiness to the lives and faces of our people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have a vision for 2025 and beyond. We did not sit in office and await issues to face us and be reactive. We have been planning for 10 years now. Each and every time we are able to bring to you what we will give to you as solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I want to invite each and every one of you to stand with me and welcome our political leader and our next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build place your expert rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your expert rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace.
Thank you very much. Let us once again give our honorable leader a warm welcome here in Tunapuna. Thank you very much, friends all. And as I continue, I want to share with you that we, the UNC, have been blamed for complaining. We have been blamed for misguiding the population when all we have wanted is to create a happy population and to fix our country in the right way where our citizens can enjoy a comfortable daily life. I say to you, we have a vision for 2025 and beyond. We are not just here to complain. We are here to build back a compassionate country. We are here to build back a compassionate country and serve you, the citizens, with seriousness. We are here to serve you with seriousness under a UNC-led government. And we will do so with our next speaker, who will revitalize, who will strengthen, who will enhance, who will expand, and who will promote initiatives that will improve your lives and all the citizens' lives of Trinidad and Tobago. My dear friends and viewers, let us welcome our honorable leader and our next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vandana. Our winning candidate for Shogunas East. Give it up for her, Vandana Mohit. Our winning candidate for what I used to know as St. Joseph, Devish Maharaj. Our winning candidate for Tunapuna, Raj Alexander. And our winning candidate for Lopino, Natalie Chaitan, Dr. Natalie. All distinguished guests in the audience, I'm sure you will forgive me if I don't name each of you, because there's so many distinguished ones here with us this evening. So can I say good evening, UNC family and friends? Tonight is a different kind of campaign for us. And I just want to deal with 3 issues, social issues that affect us, affect our young ones, our elderly ones, and the rest of the panel will deal with other areas with social issues. But 3 issues I want to deal with. Pornography, sexualization of children, gambling addiction, marijuana addiction, depression, mental illness, and suicides. We have seen an increase in sexual abuse in our society over the past decade, and there are many reasons for this. 2 of the main drivers are the sexualization of children by adults and the pornography epidemic. The innocence of childhood is being destroyed with an overload of sexual content being made available to our children. Over-sexualized content is directed at children as young as 5 years old through video games, through television shows, cartoons, movies, advertisements, and of course, social media. Individuals are also exposing children to sexually charged conversations, innuendo, music, dancing, and behaviors. It is not uncommon to see adults engaging in sexually suggestive and inappropriate behaviors in public or private events in the presence of teenagers, in the presence of children. Individuals and some in society are forcing children to appear sexually attractive and to engage in behaviors that are not age appropriate for proper mental development. Our boys and girls are being groomed through what adults exploit, self-objectification. Teens are facing pressure to become sexually active at younger ages because of poor social values. 13-year-old girls and boys are encouraged to look like 25-year-olds, to look older than they are, to be attractive. Sexually overt behavior targeting children has become normalized because hyper-sexualized media content and advertisers now determine social values. So to this we can compound this with children. There's an epidemic of pornographic addiction affecting both children and adults. Pornography addiction is a severe issue which should not be taboo for discussion. You know, I am told that Trinidad and Tobago has one of the highest rates of viewing porn. Did you all know that? And I'm talking about our children being exposed to things that are not age appropriate. That is a severe issue, and it should not be taboo for discussion. It's something we must take on board, something we must deal with to protect and take care of our children. Compared to decades ago, pornography is readily available on various internet sites. And the internet is the World Wide Web is in front of your eyes in your homes. Addiction is similar to other addictions, can have very, very severe effects on our children. In addition to mental issues, socialization is affected. Individuals' expectations of sexual relationships become skewed, and this often leads to sexual violence. Pornography addiction is the fastest growing addiction in the world. It has become a silent epidemic for both adults and children. During the COVID lockdowns and extended periods at home, we saw much viewing took place. There was a heightened increase looking at the sentiment analysis of pornography viewing by children and adults. That skyrocketed during that lockdown period. And this would have been one factor contributing to increased cases of sexual abuse. There were media reports of over 2,000 cases of sexual abuse of girls and 500 cases of sexual abuse of boys being made to the Children's Authority between 2020 and 2021 during those COVID years. Trinidad and Tobago is under siege from a myriad of crime issues. We cannot reduce sexual crimes without publicly acknowledging the driving factors behind them, even if it may be, and I can see from your faces, an uncomfortable discussion. But it is a discussion as a society we must have and take steps to deal with it. I therefore call on any willing stakeholder to come together with the UNC and our partners in the coalition, and let us begin discussions on social, legislative, and educational interventions to address the pornography epidemic and the explosion of sexualization of our children. I ask you, let us come together and deal with this frontally. Deal with it frontally. Another severe issue is that of gambling addiction. Gambling addiction. A main driver of crime, and of course Roger will tell us a little more, of crime and gang-related activity is the war for control of drug and gambling turf. This present government legalized marijuana without putting in place all the necessary controls. And they have not fully regulated gambling and have not fully regulated the cannabis, the marijuana, despite their repeated promises over the years. Gambling and marijuana addiction are wreaking havoc and destruction in the lives of many young people across our nation. Gambling and marijuana addiction affect all social classes amongst our young people. Concerning marijuana, there are no legal dispensaries, and no consistent monitoring of the quality or origin of supply. In place of legal dispensaries, people are buying on the street corner from drug pushers. The marijuana is often laced with cocaine, and there's no consistency in the THC levels. That is what gangs are fighting for, control of the corners. The present government created this problem, and that tied together with gambling addiction is also wreaking immense havoc in the lives of citizens across our land. In addition to fueling crime, it is contributing to business bankruptcies, relationship breakdowns, domestic violence, child neglect, mental problems, financial losses, and a range of other negative issues. This government has repeatedly promised, budget after budget, that the gambling industry would be fully regulated, but to date, almost 10 years later, nothing has been done. Of particular concern are the signs that young people are seamlessly transitioning from video gaming to gambling upon reaching the legal age of 18 years, and then into heavy marijuana use. You know, and we have doctors with us who will tell you that the human brain developing and maturing really takes place in the mid to late 20s. The prefrontal cortex is one of the last parts to mature and is responsible for self-awareness, the capacity for complex planning, for problem solving, for learning and memory, personality expression, decision making, and modulation of social behavior. Concerning gambling, the UNC and our partners believe it is time to open the conversation to discuss raising the legal age to participate in gambling to 25 years and over. We will also fully implement the Gambling Control Act and introduce an extensive educational program about gambling addiction. Concerning marijuana use, we have put out a manifesto for expanding the cannabis industry for revenue generation. In this part of our manifesto, we commit to regulating the industry properly with proper quality controls and standards for public safety. We also believe it is important to drive educational programs about the positive and negative effects of marijuana use so persons can make a choice, an informed choice that is best suited to them. I turn now to the issue of depression, mental illness, and suicides. Suicidal depression involves a kind of pain, a kind of terror, hopelessness, which is difficult to describe. Suicidal depression is a state of numbness, of paralyzing fear and relentless despair. The things that you most love in life is stripped away. You become a shell of yourself, like a zombie, waking up each day and just waiting to go back to sleep at night. And all day, you live in terror as to what will happen in the next hour, or the next day, or the next week. Some have lost their children to suicide. And every one of us must pay attention to this which plagues our society, whether from the elderly or from the young ones. To do anything, if you're suicidal, you have to summon maximum effort and willpower, sometimes just to eat a meal. Everything is maximum effort, all day and throughout the night. There appears to be hopelessness and nothingness. The burden you know yourself to be, the burden you know yourself to be to others is insufferable, combined with the mania that may come with depression. The psychological stress manifests in being irritable, nervous, mood swings between anger and sadness, low mood, crying, sleeplessness or fatigue, rage, nausea, eating disorders, emotional numbness. I do not mean to depress you tonight, but we have to take cognizance of these things. We have to deal with it to save our people, to save our children. These symptoms eventually contribute persistent anxiety, depression, reduction in mental activity, and social relationships leading to thoughts of helplessness and suicide. Stress interacts with depression. But mental illness, especially depression or bipolar disorder, are major contributors to suicides. When mental illness is accompanied by alcohol and drug abuse, the risk of suicide and violence against others increase dramatically. I come across many cases, I have, like these, as many people come to us as leaders for comfort. An example was one of our activists trying to assist a family who had a 32-year-old son with serious condition, violent tendencies, warded at San Fernando General Hospital, Ward 1. The parents were advised to place him in a home permanently. However, there were limited options, as few homes would accept him given the risk of keeping such a patient. The public health system presently does not have a place to support such cases. No place to support cases like these and families like these. Families who have to cope with these conditions. They do not accept referrals from the RHAs outside of its boundaries. I also get many requests for financial and psychological aid, for assistance from persons suffering domestic violence, persons who are living in fear because of their sexuality, people with disabilities, parents with children with special needs. People are facing more physical, emotional, and psychological stress than they ever had before. People are hoping that the state will eventually provide some relief, some help, but stress about their immediate futures are causing persons to commit acts of violence on their relatives, as people who are stressed and depressed are not easy to be with or to communicate with. Tonight, I want to hear your opinions when we open the floor. I want to hear what you have to say, what you can tell us, how you can help us, and how we can help families who have these issues in their lives. As a society, we need to have these conversations to protect the mental health of our citizens and bring back happiness to our country. This election on the 20th of April is also about issues like these and your health. Forget the smears, forget the insults, forget the divisive talk. Let's deal with real issues, as I ask you to join with us to ensure that we take care of those who are more challenged. We have no place in our country for persons who have severe depressive conditions, suicidal conditions, addictions to pornography, addiction to marijuana. We must make a space for them and create a better environment. So I ask you not just to vote with the UNC, but let us have these conversations. And let us together devise ways that we can help those who cannot help themselves. I thank you very much, and I look forward to the conversation.
Let us give our honorable leader another round of applause. For her detailed contribution here this evening. And I want us to all remember that she has said, let us deal with the real issues affecting our country, Trinidad and Tobago. My friends all, we need a prime minister who deals with our issues and who speaks about our issues with passion, with compassion, and with seriousness. This evening you've heard from our leader about our children, about mental health, about suicide, about domestic violence, and most of all, about the conversation and the partnership with stakeholders. And that is what we want to hear in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is what we, the population, is looking forward to in dealing with their real social issues in our country. So as we move forward, you heard from our honorable leader, and now you will hear from some members of our panel. And I want to introduce you to our next speaker, who is the candidate and the next MP for St. Joseph, Aranguez St. Joseph. He's a prominent attorney at law and managing partner at Devish, Maharaj and Associates since 1995, and has been involved in a number of groundbreaking cases. Mr. Maharaj is advisor to President Dr. Louis Nurse of the Trinidad and Tobago First Capital Committee based in St. Joseph. He has also been the chairman of the International Love All, Serve All initiative. He has been organizing a food kitchen serving hundreds of meals to the homeless in the Port of Spain and environs every day for the past 8 years. Devish was educated in Cedrus, San Fernando Boys RC, Presentation College, University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, and Cave Hill, and the Hewarding Law School. We must hear a little about poverty in dealing with our social issues. Let us welcome our next speaker, Devish Maharaj.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, for that warm introduction. Brothers and sisters, before I get into my delivery tonight, I urge all of you to make yourselves acquainted with our manifesto that has been coming out in bits and pieces, the teasers. We have here our artificial intelligence and digital technology media. Make yourselves acquainted. We heard our honorable leaders spoke about the cannabis. Get yourselves acquainted with what we are saying about cannabis, brothers and sisters. We have spent a lot of time developing policies with most, if not all, of the major social issues in Trinidad and Tobago. I have come today to discuss with you briefly, because our time does not permit a very long dissertation, on matters of poverty, homelessness, recidivism, rehabilitation, long wait for justice, and a nuclear family. So my time is limited. Brothers and sisters, when I started to walk my constituency, Aranguez St. Joseph, they told us the three core issues were economy, crime, and healthcare. As I started to go through the constituency, one more issue popped up at me, and it faced me squarely in the face every single day. Every single day as I walk from Sawa Hill to St. Joseph to East Grove and through Aranguez, the question of youth unemployment, brothers and sisters. Throughout the constituency, anywhere I walked, they braced me. They say, brother, what are you doing for us? So I started to become a little concerned. And I started to go a little further into the matter. And I discovered the Central Statistical Office, in its report, talked about, in one line, and I tell you just one line, I was researching poverty, and this is what it says. In Trinidad and Tobago, unemployment rates stood at so and so. What I went on to say, with 2/3 of the regions unemployed classified as youth, youth employment levels in the Caribbean are among the highest, get this, in the world. Our youth unemployment in Trinidad and Tobago is highest in the world. How does that tie in with poverty? Poverty is defined as the lack of income to ensure sustainable livelihoods. What is sustainable livelihoods? You have to buy groceries, you have to travel, you have children, you have to look after their transportation needs. Our poverty line in Trinidad and Tobago is approximately $9 a day. $9 a day, $2,700 a month. A lot of our nation, 15 to 18%, according to the Google search, is below the poverty line. Our government has not taken adequate steps to deal with this matter. This is a crucial matter. Not only our population is below the poverty line, but the youth, the most important facet, the young, the energetic, who want to do something, so many are below the poverty line. And what are they doing, brothers and sisters, when they don't have jobs? What are they doing? Do they stick to the family? Do they stick to the family and say, yes, this is our family, and we will stay with the family? No, that is not what is being done. According to our acting commissioner of police, on February 9th, 2025, brothers and sisters, this is what the headline said in the newspaper: gangs replacing the family unit. The political leaders spoke about it a short while ago. Gangs are replacing the family unit, not only in Arangua, St. Joseph, but throughout Trinidad and Tobago. What are we doing about it? Have you heard any initiatives by the current government to deal with this issue? Have they addressed this gang issue that is attracting so many of our young people, sucking them into gangs? And what do you do when they go into gangs? You want to hear what the Commissioner of Police is saying? What they do when they go into gangs? He reiterated that gang activity has a close association with illicit guns and drugs, and reasoned that because some of the tools necessary to perpetuate gang mentality. Young people, unemployed, below the poverty line, sucked into gangs, getting attracted to guns and drugs. You want to know why we have such a high criminal element in this country? Why the crime rate is so high? Why 624 murders? You don't have to have rocket scientists to decipher that, you know, brothers. You don't have to be. Look at the statistics. But even more alarming is the question of recidivism. I see two prominent criminal lawyers in front of me. Israel Khan's screwing up his face like he doesn't like what I am saying, senior counsel. Recidivism. What is recidivism? When you go to jail, what is the likelihood that you will come back and commit the crime again? I'm throwing it out to you. What is the percentage you think that when people go into prison, they come back and they commit crime? Not 100%. 51% in 2019. There was a joint select committee, Senator Paul Richards, and he interviewed the prison system with certain NGOs. 51% of people who go to prison come back and they do the crime again. Why? It is clear, when you come out of prison, brothers and sisters, you have nothing else to do. There's no job. Nobody's accepting you. A few NGOs are trying to do the correct things, but these young fellas, they have nothing to do. So they go back and do crime. 51%. You know how much it takes to maintain a prisoner? Remember, your poverty line is $2,700 per month. Make a guess how much it takes to maintain a prisoner at Golden Grove. Approximately $16,000. $16,000 per month to maintain a prisoner at the Golden Grove prison. So they're going in with a high rate of repeat offenders. We are sustaining them at $16,000 approximately per month to come back out, do the crime again, and go back in. So a large part of our income is being spent to sustaining criminals. Why haven't we taken a serious role at rehabilitation? Our manifesto that has been structured, we have spent time, we have spent effort on it. Read on the civil and criminal justice reforms. We have a lot of policies in there. We are going to engage NGOs at a very bigger level to come back. When these guys come out of prison, we have to do something about it. If we don't deal with it, the system is spiraling out of control. The criminal justice system is out of control. The long wait for trials. Victims are not being properly taken care of. We have a suite of things that we are going to do. We are going to take care of these victims. We are going to have psychological support. We're going to have monetary compensation for those who cannot deal with it. We have to look after our people, brothers and sisters. We cannot only look after a certain group of people, because when UNC wins, what happens? Are you asleep? When UNC wins? In this system, the victims will be looked after properly. Those who have suffered 624 murders, how many victims will look after there? How many psychological support? How many grief counseling? None. People are being left on their own, unattended. That is why, under a UNC government, the vulnerable, those who have suffered at the hands of criminals, everybody will be taken care of. We are going to have a task force immediately after winning elections, within a month, to take an assessment of the entire system of where we are going. All the criminal gangs, the external criminal gangs, people out of who are foreigners, who are running gangs in this country, within 1 month we are going to find out who you are, what are you doing here, are you legitimate here? If you're not, and you're committing crime, you will be dealt with. Brothers and sisters, we have spent so much time dealing with these matters. The length of times for trial, we are going to put a measure in place by law, to ensure that your trial takes place within the shortest possible time. Criminal justice, we are going to deal with it. When you have a criminal justice case and a witness who stays there, and 2 years, and 3 years, and 4 years go, is he coming to get evidence? Is he, when he's being threatened, when he lives in the same neighborhood? How many crimes are you going to put into safe houses? The shorter the time to do your criminal cases, your trials, it is going to be beneficial to the whole system. In the civil law, you have a land dispute, you have a commercial dispute, 3, 4, 5 years. Things dragging through the court. People coming frustrated. They're dying. Their children are not benefiting from all of this. We are going to institute mandatory mediation. Mediation means you don't necessarily have to go before a judge, or a judge-driven mediation. You're going to have to come together, sit down, and talk about it, and try to resolve the matter. Throughout the world where that is done, huge success. We cannot understand why over the 10 years that has not been done in this country. We intend to institute that as soon as we get in, brothers and sisters. My time has come speedily to an end. I have been told I have to keep within my time zone. Brothers and sisters, please, as I indicated, get to reading your manifestos, go online. We have many copies here. Read it. When they talk to you on the road, you will have answers. You will know what we are doing. We are not shooting in the dark, you know. We were very prepared this time. And when UNC wins, thank you, brothers and sisters.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Devish Maharaj, and our next MP for Arangwes St. Joseph. And I'm sure we are all looking forward to that. When you hear our speakers, you hear hope for our social sector. You hear heart and you hear compassion. And that is what you need to deal with your social issues affecting your country. That is what we need here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to remind you all that the UNC is known for not just having systems, but for having working systems to deal with our issues. Our next presenter and member of our panel is the candidate and next MP for Aruka Lopino. I know you love all of our candidates. I know you love all of our candidates, and we appreciate that, and we look forward to working with you after the 28th as your government of Trinidad and Tobago. Yes? So, let me continue. Dr. Natalie Chaitan Maharaj is a specialist in obstetrics and gynecology for 15 years. She has been employed as an OBGYN at the NCRHA Mount Hope Women's Hospital since July 2010. Dr. Chaitan Maharaj is also a business owner at First Call Medical Services, Ramsran Street, Shogunas, since October 2020. Additionally, Dr. Chaitan Maharaj is an associate clinical lecturer at the University of the West Indies. Dr. Chaitan Maharaj was educated at Penal Rock Road Presbyterian School, Holy Faith Convent, Penal, St. Joseph Convent, San Fernando, University of the West Indies, Mona, Jamaica, and University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. Experience we are bringing to you to speak a little on healthcare and other issues, Dr. Natalie Chaitan Maharaj.
Good evening, Tunapuna. Good evening to the East-West Corridor. Good evening, my Aruka Lopino family. My warmest salutations to our honorable political leader and next Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC. To our panel this evening, my fellow candidates, Mr. Devish Maharaj, Mr. Roger Alexander, to all members of our national executive and other fellow candidates present, to our special guests, Mr. Jack Warner, our COP family, and our wonderful audience, good evening. I am Dr. Natalie Chaitan Maharaj. I am a resident of and our gracious leader's chosen candidate for the constituency of Aroka Lupino. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am your neighbor. I am a doctor. So naturally, my concerns tonight go to healthcare issues in our society. The first emotion any of us have when we have cause to walk into a public healthcare building is one of dread. We wonder how long will it take us to get through, to be seen, to be treated. Most of us expect to wait and be there for hours, if not the whole day. Depending on the facility you go to, it may take hours just to get past the first nurse, then more hours to be seen by a doctor, then more hours to wait for blood work or tests that the doctor orders, then more hours waiting by the pharmacy to see if the medication the doctor prescribed is in stock. Or worse, the rest of the whole day and night to wait for a bed if the doctor says you have to stay. The wait time in public health care is undeniably ridiculous. Even in the clinics, they're overcrowded with patients and understaffed with doctors. You're most times given appointments that are months or years apart. Heart patients in Mount Hope get clinic appointments and echo test appointments 1 and 2 years away. By the time the appointment comes, you have to pray they didn't pass away from a heart attack. Even surgeries that are not emergency but will still ease a patient's suffering, they have to be booked months away. None of that is ideal. It is not fair to tax-paying citizens. It is not what we healthcare workers want for you. But it is the state the PNM government has allowed us to deteriorate to. The UNC is committed to treat the backlog of patients awaiting tests and surgeries and guarantee reduced waiting times. That is in our health manifesto, points 6 and 7. The impact of such a simple thing, the waiting time for healthcare, is profound. Because think about it. If you wake up in the morning and you don't have your health, if you're in pain, if you feel weak or dizzy from high blood pressure, can you function? Can you go to work? Can you look after your kids the way you want to? That leads me to ask you to think about the overall day-to-day psychological effect that this ridiculous state of our healthcare system has on you and other citizens. Let's look at the all-too-common story. Non-communicable diseases. That's like high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney disease, things that run in families. Those kinds of diseases are many times, as I tell my own patients, not curable. But as doctors, we try to manage and control the symptoms, keep the blood pressure and sugar levels normal, prevent complications. Being told you have this kind of disease, it has a significant impact on your life. Your entire life has to change. You and your loved ones, you find yourself worrying about needing to take tablets every day that you may not get from CDAP, that you may not be able to afford to buy. Worrying about passage to go to clinics and hospital often and losing a day work every time. Worrying about if you get complications, if the high blood pressure causes a stroke, or the sugar causes problems with your circulation and you lose toes and feet. You worry about how you'll manage in a healthcare system that does not have the resources to best look after you. The UNC will look after you. Health Manifesto, point 5, we will fix and expand CDAP. Number 9, we will treat non-communicable disease burden promptly. Not this PNM government. Their healthcare system cannot look after anyone properly. Not persons with chronic disease, neither persons who are differently abled or who have special needs. Those persons are your parents, paralyzed after strokes, your children with cerebral palsy who use wheelchairs. Those persons are our youth, slipping through the cracks in school because they're on the autism spectrum or have ADHD, or have dyslexia, but never had screening to make the diagnosis. They are deemed delinquent, sentenced to poor school grades, with their whole futures stolen from them. These persons are our neighbors who have lost their sight from cataracts and glaucoma, waiting ridiculous amounts of time for surgery and clinic appointments. All these persons will be helped by the UNC. The Education Manifesto, point 1, universal screening for children. Point 7 of the Health Manifesto, treat with the backlog for cataract surgery. Point 8, build a national stroke rehabilitation center. All of these affected citizens need specialized support services to be able to function and to be able to positively contribute to our society. I have known mothers and fathers of autistic children who chose to migrate to save their children because they have found no help and no support from this PNM healthcare system. Indeed, how can a PNM support special needs children when they cannot even manage basic things like food security? Consider again the profound effect of the rising cost of food on our health and our health care. After all, if our bodies are our temples, the amount of food and the quality of food that we are able to afford to put into our bodies, it has a cascade effect. The PNM has increased our food import bills. Every week when you go to the grocery price has gone up. But the UNC has plans for that. Agriculture sector, the Workers' Agenda Manifesto, point number 13, 14, 15, 16. Agriculture sector growth. We will protect and incentivize our farmers. This will lower our food bills. It will give us better nutrition to both adults and children. Our children will then be able to show better performance in schools when they are provided with breakfast, lunch, and after-school meals. They will be nourished for better lives of their own. After all, our children are our future. Every mother in this country prays for her child's future, for their health and their strength. As a mother, I prayed for my children before they were even born. I prayed every time I felt my babies move in my belly. I prayed that their entrance into this world would be calm and safe, that they would be born healthy and stable, and not need to be taken from my arms to a neonatal ICU, a NICU. Even that prayer is disregarded by the PNM. How many mothers watched their babies be rushed to the Port of Spain General NICU? They still prayed, those mothers, for the doctors and nurses to have the resources needed to save their babies' lives, only to have their babies die from infection, from germs their babies were infected with in the NICU, because the wicked PNM bought substandard, cheap cleaning chemicals for the hospitals and the NICU and didn't hire enough nurses, so that one nurse had to manage too many babies. That's a risk for spreading infection, and I have seen that with my own eyes. Does the PNM care? Look at the catastrophe they brought on those young mothers, from a basic thing like keeping a hospital clean. Does the PNM care about the grief of mothers who lose their babies? There is no specialized support system for those mothers, only generic social worker and psychology counseling. But the UNC will conduct audits and train staff in these kinds of highly demanded areas. Health policy number 13. We will make sure no mother has to go through that suffering. Women's health on the whole has been neglected by the PNM. Now forgive me, I am a gynecologist after all, so this one is near and dear to me. Did you know if a woman decides to have her children close together, as in 2 years apart, the current Maternity Protection Act denies her maternity leave for the second child? Did you know that postpartum blues and depression affects 1 in 3 women in the Caribbean and goes largely unrecognized because postpartum care right now is only 1 single clinic or visit or district nurse visit? Health Manifesto number 37 and 39 addresses women's support in pregnancy and postnatally. Did you know, as doctors, women have come to our emergency rooms, victims of domestic abuse, sexual trafficking, and we as healthcare workers have admitted them to hospital just for safety because the police don't have a safe house to take them to? These women often have young children who will be disadvantaged from their early years because of lack of social support from the PNM. The children are at risk of performing poorly in school, even when they defy the odds and perform well academically. The cruel PNM has had the country in a state where they're most likely not going to be able to get a job or a house of their own. Our youth are left disenchanted, feeling like trying to get a job is like trying to win the lottery. It is a setup for them to feel frustrated, boxed in, and at risk for anxiety and psychological issues. I want none of this PNM government for my family or for my children. I want none of this PNM failure for you, your family, or your children. We don't have to accept this bleak, hopeless, unhealthy state of affairs. We can choose the UNC's policies, plans for crime, health, education, working class, and all the rest. To return health, strength, and happiness to our nation, what do? On April 28th, we vote for the rising sun. We vote for the UNC, because Aruka Lupino, say it with me loud and clear. When the UNC wins, everybody wins. Thank you.
So you have heard it. We have a plan for crime, the economy, and to bring back social order in our country. Let us give our colleague, our sister, another round of applause. Qualified and experienced. And I want to tell you, measuring a country's prosperity, part of that has a lot to do with proper health care. You don't want to see any more long lists, long lines, frustration at our health institutions. On April 28th, remember, we have a plan that will work for you, so come out there and vote in your numbers. Because when the UNC wins, Trinidad and Tobago, everybody wins. I want to bring the next member of our panel, who everyone loves. And he is the candidate and next MP for the seat of Tunapuna. In dealing with social issues, you must deal with the root causes of crime and violence. And our next speaker is a former senior superintendent in the TTPS, who was last assigned to the anti-extortion unit. He was a popular co-host of TTPS Beyond the Tape television program on TV6. He led the fight against drug trafficking gangs in Port of Spain and was featured in a 2014 Vice News documentary on corruption, cocaine, and murder in Trinidad. Let us welcome our next MP for Tunapuna, Roger Alexander.
Good evening. I said good evening. Let me take it to that place one time. One time, let me take it to this place. If while you're sitting here, the lights goes off, and you hear lie down on the ground, you hear shots go off. And while you're on the ground, you're tasting something on your lips, the blood and the marrow of another man's head, because he was just shot in his head next to you. And you're waiting to see if you will be next. Because persons have no rights, while others have all. And while you're lying there, you are robbed. Some women, too, you might be raped in the process, in the presence of your husband and your children. What do you do? And not one person here, not one person here was given the opportunity to try and have something in his possession to defend this family. Let me say good evening again. And let me recognize my leader of the United National Congress, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And before I go deep into my literature, because most of it will come from here, because of my 30-odd years experience, I want to ask my leader this. How did you come up with this new social media and new media career opportunities for young people? How? Because when you go home, Tunapuna, when you go home, get one of this and show it to your child who loves the social media and tell him in a positive way, with the right content, educational content, he could seek a career and be paid for it. So you don't have to pose up with guns and all these things. Positive, good message, convincing people, education-wise, develop new strategies, develop new AI systems, develop something in this country that we can sell out to other persons, in the future. That's what we're looking for. So this, to me, is extraordinary, and it must be recognized as something only the United National Congress can give to you. Did you know today, as I stand here, a man was shot and killed in the airport this morning? The airport ought to be a sanctuary. It is where we bring all leaders land and all leaders leave eventually. But today, it was a crime scene. And while that crime scene was developed this morning, there are persons who was given the authority to lead in national security, making decisions on who should have badges and who should not, while persons lying on the ground this morning in the airport. Under the UNC, that cannot happen. How can you be thinking and not put proper legislation and policies in place to protect your domestic airport? How? It is the first place where terrorism might want to raise its ugly head, but it is exposed. I heard this morning people were running left, right, and center, hiding. And nobody was there to defend our nation. At least let the international community see that even if you think of it and it started, it must be put down almost immediately. But I guess they have a softer side of dealing with things, so we wait. Crime continues to raise its head, completely darkening our eyes, deafening our ears. And yet we sit, and some of us do nothing. We depend on others when sometimes we have the very solution right next door or in our hands. The United National Congress has looked up many measures. This is our manifesto, but it also engages what many of you, if I ask anyone here today, have you ever applied for a firearm? How much years now have you been in waiting? About 9? We need to give citizens an opportunity to defend themselves. Proper legislations with respect to home invasion. How can a man break your security, enter your home, and feel he can do you what he wants to? Members of the public, UNC family, and Tunapuna, we must treat with that the very next day that we enter office. Also, Tunapuna, the home of persons demanding money for nothing. They did not contribute to the opening of your business, but they certainly will contribute to the closing of it. Extortion has rigged its ugly head all over Tunapuna until some persons have become very silent. Under the UNC, you will not see that type of behavior. You will not see persons walking the streets with the AR exposed. You will not see the disappearance of persons. We will not allow the gangs from outside or inside, or those who are attached to some number, dictate the pace of our citizens, our human rights, the protection of our citizens. All this must come to an abrupt end. There are several ways to do it. Some I can't even explain at this time. But what I can tell you is this: with the right laws, policies, and an aggressive attitude towards crime, we can't stop all, but we certainly will decrease crime considerably. Gender-based violence. Just imagine, gender-based violence. Some of us walking around, and let me come back to what I just spoke of earlier, where persons are applying for firearms. But before he applied, he stick up his wife and told her, you better sign it. She must sign that she is willing to have this firearm in the home. A more stringent but timely and effective system will be put in place to treat all of that. So no time we sit down waiting, and the wife knows she can't say anything, but she's willing to say it because she lives in fear. That too, you will not see any of that. That too will come to an end. Sometimes today leader, we are at the Tunapuna office, we expose the type of technology that is required to transform any police service, defense force, fire service, the prison service, and I could go on and on. The technology that is required must be smart, intelligent, AI-driven, and at the same time, easy to install, service, yeah, for all citizens. So if you have these things already here, we have AI and vehicle recognition systems here. And I showed the Tunapuna persons today how that is done. We have facial recognition on cameras. We want to embrace the alarm system and the direct interconnectivity with different agencies and law enforcement to bring about that type of response we're looking for. So from the time something happens, we target, we look at the journey to and from crime, we intercept. If you behave in a lawful manner, we arrest you, and if you don't, I cannot talk about that yet. Everything must be done lawful and justified. So even if it is tested, I see my legal friend here, even if it is tested in a court of law, straight up to England, it must be deemed justified in a court of law. The outcome must be one that is responsible, but we must also take in mind the protection of our citizens is of paramount importance to all of us. My good leader asked me, she said, we're talking about border security if you look at our manifesto. I said, listen, fighting crime is not rocket science. You just have to be on the ground and understand what is happening. And she said, let us look at the defense force. And the persons who leaving early, 45-year-old, a man 45 years, and he's out there already. The boy didn't finish paying for his mortgage. He asked the boy, because that is what he is really, he's a young boy still. All we have to do is to take those persons and incorporate them into the border security. They are already trained. There's no reinventing of the wheel. We have special reserve police officers. Many of them excellent police officers. But they work for they do the same job, but different conditions in terms of salary and all of that. I told my leader, I said, listen, getting officers to go to the school should not be an issue. Some of them have 9 years service, 6 years service, doing the same job as a police officer, but different terms and conditions. Let us bring them on board. Let us embrace them, send them to train, and then put them among. You know why I know these things? I just left. So all the talk you're hearing all over the place about Alexander shouldn't and Alexander shouldn't, I just left. I could tell you what is required and what is not. What is working and what is not. And let me just finish off by saying this. Too long, and I told my leader, I said, listen, we have to find a way to give police officers, in this case, a small electronic device. Why? In case Auntie Merle can't come down the hill to make a report, you sit down waiting for Auntie Merle to find a way to come down the hill to make a report, go to Auntie Merle, take a statement from her via the electronic device, and then bring it and lodge it in the system. That is not rocket science. And last but not least, we need to talk to persons in the legal fraternity. Too many times we have thresholds for crime, and my legal friend will tell us that. we have threshold for crime. And even when we satisfy those thresholds, there's still an issue in the court. So then, some kind of communication have to take place between law enforcement and the courts in order to arrive at a common ground. So at the end of the day, when I present these documents to you and the requested evidence, then the only thing can happen is that you're found guilty, you're found guilty, you're found guilty, and you are sentenced to hang. So, Trinbagonian and Tunapuna constituency, enough is enough. We took 10 years, the PNM took 10 years out of your life, and they want to take 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You did not service us for 10 years. You came there before yesterday. Don't take their chain up. Do not allow them to manipulate your brain. Don't let them feed you with small corn and peas for one day and believe you'll eat for the rest of your life. It's time to make a change. It's time to make a change. And that time is now more than ever. Let's go on the 28th of April 2025 and vote them out. And give people with real ideas, real solutions, and real vision to lead this good nation.
Well done. Your next member of parliament for Tunapuna. They say when you live in it, you understand it. When you experience it, you know what it's like. So he was from the service. The fight towards crime, the fight on crime is real, and we have to do so together. The choice is clear. You have heard it tonight. A competent and a capable team led by the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, your next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I have a very important announcement. Can the driver of PBT 4636 please attend to your vehicle? PBT 4636, please attend to your vehicle. It's urgent. In addition, before we go to our open forum, I want to invite any of you after this who would like to be a part of the Tunapuna volunteer team. There's the volunteer desk, so feel free to visit the Tunapuna volunteer desk. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends, all viewers, we now come to the most important part, the part that is most important to the UNC, where we open the floor for contributions. But before we go to that, I want to let you know that we want to hear from you, and we want to give everyone a chance. So let's gather and allow each other to respectfully contribute, and if we can keep our contributions within 2 minutes. I'm asking all of you who are contributing to be brief and precise so we understand your issue, and going further, we can consider it. So at this point in time, Honorable Leader, we now open the floor for contributions. First person, proceed.
Good evening to the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. All protocols observed. My name is Marissa Gonzalez. I represent the constituency of St. Anne's East. I don't think 2 minutes would be enough, but I'll try to cut it short. Irregardless, I just want to say, irregardless of the tyranny and agony that we have been facing in St. Anne's East over the last week, I would just like to say that my committee, my team members, and my supporters, we have decided that we are not going to allow the desperate tactics of the PNM to let us lose focus of what the mission is, which is to get the PNM out and to bring home the St. Anne's East seat. I can assure you we are working hard and assiduous, and we are getting great response from the ground, and that is why they are resorting to desperate tactics. They can feel the ground shaking under them, that is why. And we will emerge victorious. My candidate, Mr. Gerald Small, we are standing together with him to bring home this seat. I would just like to add that I am really, this is an emotional topic for me. I am really grateful that finally we have somebody that is taking mental health seriously. I have a son. My son is 26 years old today, and he has been battling depression since the age of 14. And I refused to put him in the hands of mental health institutions because I didn't want him to become a basket case. So it's between myself and God, I have been fighting to keep my son alive to today. I just want to suggest that mental health first aid training, that offer training programs to equip community members with the skills to recognize and respond to mental health concerns. Because usually when people who have mental health issues have breakdowns, it is not always within confined spaces. It is sometimes very public and people don't know how to deal with it. So I would just like to say I really appreciate that is being taken seriously, finally. Thank you.
Next person.
Good night, good night. My name is Kenneth Ali. I am also from the district of the St. Anne's East. All right, and as we say, we have 2 minutes. We want to make it as short, as sweet as possible. I like the idea where you said that they give us a cone. I actually want to do a video of how they treat us. They knock the pan, I just want to do that, knock the pan and all the chickens run in the coop. And then 1 pan of corn gone inside there. And they have the whole bag of corn to go with it for themselves. That's what we are accustomed to in this country, by the PNM. All right, I have a philosophy that I say anywhere I go, any community I go. When the I is more important than the we in a family, that is a failing family. When the I is more important than the we in a community, that is a failing community. And when the I is more important than the we in a nation, well, I could understand that, it's a failing nation. We have been used to this type of, I would say, unfairness. What I want to talk about is the demerit point system, basically. This is a money-grabbing opportunity by this grabbing money dictatorship PNM. I know a friend of mine that lost his maxi through the bank because his license was revoked for stupidness. An officer gave me a ticket. I'll tell you all why. I on Charlotte Street. I coming across Queen Street, and he on Henry Street. Christmas Eve, the traffic is immense. A passenger jumped in my vehicle. I said, I'm not working. I'll go in the hospital. He jumped out of the vehicle. That officer waited on the next end there while the traffic moving, trip. To reach them, they pulled me aside and gave me a ticket. Like applying for hire at a place not appointed. You have to have common sense in what you're doing. And we need proper consultation with the people on the ground. The taxi drivers of this country, help this country run every day. And they are not respected for it. The police officers come out there and victimize us. And we are contributing heavily to Trinidad and Tobago. And it is time that we are recognized for what we are doing. We take children to schools, back home. So this demerit point system is way off course. Nobody should lose their livelihood. For some, there are some cases that, all right, somebody might overdo it. But I am dealing with the facts. A lot of officers and licensing department, not about licensing department. We have to stop this. And I thank you very much. I know this UNC government have always been a government that has consultation before they make any decision. Right? Yeah. So I am very excited. Very excited. When you see me talk, I talk with a lot of passion. I shout sometimes. Right? As I was telling people, this is not about money. This is about country and children. And it is time we start thinking in terms of this mental pattern. All right, Trinidad and Tobago have been too long led down a road where we are guided to fail.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Heart of love.
Next.
Good evening, each and everyone. Good evening to the head table, our Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, our new leader for Trinidad and Tobago. After the 28th of April this month, you will be our leader. Well, my issue is on social, health, and community development section. I am a registered NGO what's deal in my community for the past 10 years now. And the problem for getting social service within my community, John, because we have the gang related, and these guys, when they die, they leave children with us 3, 4, 5, the ages. The most might be about 12 years of age, and they have no guidance. The parents have to go, the mother have to go out to work. We have no schools in our community. We have no community centers. And I, as an NGO, will try to do little activities to take these children mind off death, sorrow, and pain. And we, for the longest while, why I take up myself as an NGO, seeing my community suffering, and the children in my community don't have proper guidance. So I come like a mother within the community to the rest of young parents, because young parents, what we have in our community. And we try to get social services, we try to get hampers, we try to do all kind of things to make it happen. I agree for this mother would speak first with the mental health issues, because we have plenty children. When you talk to them, I don't care about that. They're telling me, because they ain't seen nobody to show them that love. So I just try to yourself say, well, I will love you. And with our candidate, Mr. Kurt Sennett, we would like to see, and he worked with us in my community and the South Port of Spain region. Thank you.
Just before we go further, I just have a house announcement. PCT, the driver of PCT 2863, PCT 2863, can you please attend to your vehicle? It's urgent. Next, please, let us continue.
Good evening, everyone. Honorable Next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Senior Counsel. My name is Rudy Atwell. I'm the Secretary General of the Aviation, Communication, and Allied Workers Union. We represent the hardworking flight attendants, mechanics, and the ground staff at Caribbean Airlines. Thank you. This morning hit home for us. The murder that happened this morning is right where we stand. Right where we stand, there are 30 bullet shells right there that has defiled where we work. Any murder anywhere is a travesty. But this hit home for us. And Mrs. Bissessar, I am so proud of you for choosing Mr. Alexander, who has the experience to protect this country. Any murder anywhere in the world, if it be in John F. Kennedy International Airport, Miami, Jamaica, Barbados, this would be an outrage. But I'm hearing the present administration just saying, okay, well, we will look into it. This is not acceptable, okay? I believe in you, and we believe in you, and you will be the next administration of Trinidad and Tobago. Also quickly, my union has 18 years of outstanding negotiations, and we look forward to meeting and treating with you when you take office. And as the Secretary General of the Aviation and Communication and Allied Workers Union, I fully endorse you in the coalition of interest. I thank you. I thank you, Melissa Alexander, and best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Our next contributor, please.
Hi, good evening, Mrs. Bissessar, Mr. Alexander, Mrs. Miraj, Mr. Miraj, good evening, distinguished guests. My name is Melissa Pulchan, and I have two issues I would like to highlight. I have hearing me, right? Okay, good evening again. I have over 20 years experience in the health sector, NWRHA to be exact, from clerical to the assistant hospital administrator at the St. James Hospital. And everything you said, Dr. Chaitan, is true. Everything you said. And I would like to see greater accountability, because I have gotten calls 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning from the nurses. You have no ambulance, you have urgent cases to move, you have no stretchers, you have no trolleys, the ECG machine is not working. And I spend hours trying to mitigate these things. I would like to see greater accountability in the system. I would like to see executive management audit the HR departments, the finance department, procurement department. Let them go before the Public Accounts Committee and give account for where the monies are being spent. People are suffering in this country, especially in healthcare, over and it is too much. As for the TTPS, consider using the GIS system, implement it. I know a study was done some time ago, but it needs to be done again and implemented into the TTPS so they can use the GIS system and help with the crime situation, because it wouldn't take a genius to figure out that unemployment, poverty equals crime. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next person, please.
Madam Opposition Leader, members of Parliament, of this panel, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Nikisha Pierre, the President and co-founder of the Differently Able Movement, and a blind and an amputee woman. Yesterday, we would have headed a protest at the Red House, and we asked you, Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for your attention, and we thank you for the speedy response. We thank you for your attention tonight. I especially want to thank you for the emphasis you place on the mental health situation in this country. I, for one, being a disabled woman, know and live the reality of mental health being a problem for those in our community. Suicide, lack of friendships, lack of family support, and being able to speak to people and being conscious. So I thank you for what you are willing to do for persons in this country. We raised the issue of the insult of $2,000 called the disability grant. $2,000 cannot suffice a differently able person in Trinidad and Tobago, especially with the high cost of living. So, Ms. Persad-Bissessar, we are asking for a raise of the grant from $2,000 to $3,500, and for easier access for the food card for disabled persons. Trinidad and Tobago signed the UN Charter for the Rights of Disabled Persons in Trinidad and Tobago in June 2015, and up till this date, we have not seen any real priority put towards most of the articles in that charter. So today, we, the members of the Differently Able movement, we are asking you, kind lady, we have seen the milk grant, we have seen the life fund, we have seen laptops, we are hearing chat of the iPads for the younger kids. We are asking Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, if your government is to be the next sitting government, will you raise the disability grant for us? Could we expect the food card for persons who are disabled in Trinidad and Tobago? I thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone. Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Mr. Alexander, and the rest of the panel. I am Onella Sami, and I am also from the Differently Able movement. And I would like to thank you. I'm 35 years old, and I would like to thank you for raising the issue of mental health. I would like to propose, we as the Differently Able movement, we would like to see a hotline specially detailed for persons with disabilities, especially those who come upon disability suddenly. Imagine being 18, becoming a doctor, and suddenly being met with a tragic accident, and then you're blind and disabled. Who do you call 3 a.m.? We have people saying that they have places for counseling. This is just talk. We want to see something real, tangible, and meaningful that will address the mental health issues facing the differently able community. Thanks. Good night.
Just a second, please. Just a second, please. Let me ask the lady, the first speaker, what is your opinion if you had a best friend trained enough to take care of you and walk you anywhere you want to go in Trinidad and Tobago? I'm not speaking about a human, but a dog trained for that purpose. Would it help you in any way?
I, being a vision impaired person, know that it is not a reality, and for my duration of my blindness, thought it was impossible. If I have a best friend, a furry friend, that is able to help me move around, help me detect things, a dog, I would welcome that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And before we move to the next speaker, you heard from the Differently Able movement of Trinidad and Tobago, and you heard her thank the opposition leader for her speedy response. Yesterday, our leader received a message from the Differently Able movement, and immediately after that, she mandated us, Barry and myself, to meet with this group. We met with this group at 12 midday today, and we submitted our report already on our meeting. So do not feel that your issues are falling on deaf ears. We are here to work with you as cohesive as possible. As you can see in our response, the commitment of our honorable leader, next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Next person in line, please. We welcome your contribution.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Ms. Kamla Persad, everyone in panel. I came to represent custodians at the private sector. I work at Kufa Hospital since 2020. We work for COVID, no days off, tirelessly, effortlessly. At 17.50 an hour, we don't get paid overtime, we don't get paid double time on holidays, nothing. I would like for when you reach in power, which you're going to be my next Prime Minister, for you to remember us, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next person
Thank
in
you.
line, please.
One moment. That Couva Hospital has remained an eyesore. That was meant to help mothers, babies, children, everyone. There was a burns unit in it that we had built to accommodate Point Lisas, the workers at Point Lisas. But this wicked government has kept it closed. They brought you all in a limited way to work. And certainly, we have every intention to fully open that Couva Children's Hospital. And of course, you're a worker there. We will take on board the issues that you're raising. But that is a priority one. That has stayed closed for 10 years. People are dying in the health sector. We can't get proper health care. And you have a state-of-the-art hospital still shut down. We will open it. With your help, we will open it.
Thank you, Honorable Leader. And now you can proceed. Our next contributor.
A pleasant good night. I am Shelley Villafana. I'm representing the Arangwes St. Joseph area. I must say, most of all, I'd like to say a pleasant good night to the Honorable Miss Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and of course, our next Minister for Arangwes St. Joseph, Mr. Devish Maharaj. Keep up the good work, and my contribution tonight is about our salary increase and income. Now, over the years, I am working at MTS, and we are facing the hardest challenges right now. Since 2013 to now, we haven't get an increase. We haven't get a back pay, nothing like that. The two back pay we got was under Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And I would like Ms. Kamla, for you to keep up the good work. You are a people person. You are a caring person. On July the 28th, April the 28th, sorry people, sorry. On April the 28th, when UNC win, everybody win. Thank you.
Dr. Chaitan.
Good evening again. 2 points about the previous speaker and our leader. First, about healthcare workers from all levels, domestic and above, being underpaid, short paid, that is coming, being not able to get their gratuities, getting slapped in the face with a 4%. I am Felicia Thomas's voter. I got the 4% too, and we will start at 10% for the next negotiation. The second point that drives me home about that Couva Hospital and the burn center that we were promised is because of my own constituent, who sadly made the news last week. Naomi DeMille passed away from burn injuries when a gas tank exploded in her house. I went very quietly to that funeral, all the while thinking if that burn center was open, that 19-year-old just become a grown-up child would have had a chance. We will open it, and it will not happen again.
Thank you, Dr. Chaitan. Our next contributor, you can proceed.
Good evening, everyone, especially our Honorable Leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, our next Prime Minister. Good evening to all protocol and welcome to the UNC family. I am Liana Bab Gonzalez, former Belmont East Shadow Councillor, and now North and West, St. Anne's West Chairperson. We are supporting PEP, who is in coalition with us. A lot of people don't understand when we say coalition, we mean unity, we mean togetherness, we mean we are under the umbrella of UNC, and we are working together to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place. As a former shadow councillor, walking in Belmont, to, fro, all over, everybody complain about water situations, garbage, all these different problems. And yet, I hope on the 28th, you'll wake up to realize PNM did nothing for you. So now we have the opportunity to get Mr. Alexander, Philip Alexander, who is representing the North and West St. Anne's West. I walk with him, with our team, and I see so many problems still in effect that the PNM is not doing anything for the communities there. So I hope you all be wise enough to open up your eyes and ears and know now to make a difference on the 28th of April. Vote them out. Without further ado, I have one other issue about in education. Now we go and we study, we get our degrees. I see no way that we are too old to be teachers, because you all have a certain level or number that we should be, at age that is. And we have the experience, just as Mr. Alexander was talking about, with police being 45 years and they stop their work. Because in doing so, and we are still studying and furthering ourselves, getting master degrees, PhDs, and because we reach the age, we are not able to join the education system. We go into these private schools, and they cheat us of our rights. They give us contracts, yes, and we have no NIS, no health surcharge paid there. So, and we are aged. We have a certain age. What would we gain in the end when they feel not to pay us or stop the contract? So this is an issue I would like you to look into. Thank you, everyone. Because when UNC win, everybody wins.
Thank you so much. And we now invite our next person in line to give her contribution.
Good evening, everybody. Honorable Persad-Bissessar, Mr. Alexander, Dr. Chaitram, Mr. Maharaj, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ms. Mohit. My contribution is more of questions than statements. And as a citizen, a resident of El Dorado, and a critical thinker, my questions would be directed via to Dr. Chaitram and Mr. Maharaj. Right, Dr. Chaitram, I would like to know what it is you all have in place for cancer patients. Right? I'm speaking from a personal standpoint, because I had cause, or not me, but my husband had cause to go to a cancer center, which is St. James, right? And I went to register him in October, and they said that they can't register him until December 5th. Yeah? And then they said they're not sure when it is they're going to be able to take him to start treatment. So I had to pay private oncology care, which is $30,000 TT dollars every 3 weeks. I'm telling you, thank God for insurance, right? And this is unfair because of the volume of people. So what it is you all have in place for that? The volume of people that are contracting cancer now, it has no age, right? That's just one contribution. Mr. Maharaj, the other question to you, sir, directed at you. You spoke about recidivism, you hear me? You spoke about recidivism, right? And when the former inmates come out there and they have a high propensity to reoffend, which is 51%, right? The problem we're having, sir, is where are the welfare services? Where are the social services to ensure successful reintegration into society and back into families? You can't just let them out onto the streets and say they have no jobs. The social services must come into play, the social ministries. Where are these people? Not enough is being done. And I'm speaking from a standpoint as a criminal justice graduate. You understand? So that's what I want to know, because I've listened to you speak, and that was the only hiccup I had where in your speech where that is concerned. All right? So thank you for your time, and any feedback would be appreciated.
We just have...
Good night.
So we have some feedback before we go to our next speaker.
First, my dear, I'm so sorry that your husband had to go through that experience and you didn't get the support you needed. My entire talk tonight and at least half of the points on our healthcare manifesto will make sure no one ever goes through what your husband went through. From dealing with shortening the wait time and the appointment times in hospitals by either hiring more staff or rehabilitating or making the entire process electronic. The treatment time for non-communicable diseases will be shortened. Cancer is one of those. The treatment time to surgery will be shortened. The availability of medications on CDAP, because even chemotherapy agents and medications for cancer can be put on CDAP, and more modern medicines, not the 10 and 15 and 20-year-old ones that we have on it now, can be added to help your husband. There is social support service that will be coming, because when you have non-communicable diseases, as we went through, the mental toll on mental health on the patient and the family is significant. Mental health will be part of the basic healthcare needs to be found at the health center level that will be open for extended hours. So more than half of this manifesto combined will make sure no one has the experience your husband has.
And with regard to the recidivism, the social welfare services, if it is not functioning properly, we will have to address that situation. It may be that they are overwhelmed by the amount of criminality in the system. We are not too sure, but certainly that will be investigated. In addition to the government services, our policies to engage more and more NGOs to participate and to have business communities being engaged in that venture of rehabilitation to ensure that is lessened. So that is one of the things we'll be looking at very clearly. Thank you.
Thank you, and we now welcome our next contributor.
I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that in approximately 2 weeks' time, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Senior Counsel, will be sworn in as Prime Minister. I have no doubt in my mind. But I have a very narrow interest in the UNC winning this election, a personal narrow interest. And that narrow interest is for me to feel safe in this country, to walk the street in this country. And incidentally, I grew up in Tunapuna, I voted in Tunapuna, I am here. So, when the former Prime Minister Raleigh went to Parliament to request Parliament give him the opportunity to extend the law in relation to allowing a state of emergency, he openly admitted it is recorded in the Hansard that he spent billions and billions of dollars in national security, and they were unable to suppress the crime in the country. He admitted that. So if he admitted that, and he had 9.5 years, I have no doubt in my mind they cannot solve the crimes in the country. They do not have the wherewithal. So I want to take this opportunity to talk to the floating voters, that is the people who are undecided, whether you're UNC, you're PNM, or whatever you are. If you're undecided, I believe you want to live in this country and feel safe. So on election day, come out and vote for the UNC. Give them the opportunity to solve the crime. And I say here, if at the end of the term they do not solve the crime, get rid of them. I believe they will solve the crime because they have a plan. They have a plan and they have a manifesto. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senior Counsel Israel Khan.
Can we thank Mr. Israel Khan of Senior Counsel? And you have the best candidate. Israel, you have the best candidate in Roger Alexander. Right here, you have to vote in Tunapuna for Roger, who will help us in the fight against crime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Leader. And our next contributor, please.
I am Roger Samuel. A Roger is a Roger. Honorable future Prime Minister, and to the rest of the table. There is an aspect of criminality that has been overlooked, Mr. Alexander, that based on my interaction with a lot of young people, based upon what I do, there is a lot of extortion happening in the school system. Criminal entities are extorting our children in school. As a matter of fact, it came to my attention that children are paying even after they leave school to protect themselves and their families. It came to my attention that there are children who have left school 5 years ago and are stealing to pay for their lives. They are afraid to discuss it with anyone, to share it with anyone. And it is something I think we need to seriously look into in the school, in the education system, because this has been happening for years. Children, their education levels are subsiding, they are struggling because they have this weight on their psyche, and they're deteriorating in schools because they have to find ways and means, some illegal, to facilitate the extortion. They're afraid to report it. They're afraid to talk to people. And I think it's something, Mr. Alexander, you have to look at seriously, because if they start stealing at this level, it will become a culture, and then it become a norm later on in their lives. And I just wanted to address that with you. Look at the extortion that is happening in the school system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And we now have our final contributor for this evening.
A very pleasant good evening. You all heard about the name Sachin Tendulkar already? How they call him in India? The god of cricket. You heard the name Kamla Persad-Bissessar? She is the god of politics in Trinidad and Tobago. Give her a round of applause. The next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I have one simple issue. We're talking about mental health. Doctor, I know about all what is happening in Stanley Grande Hospital. I have personal information about the people who were senior people responsible for a shift, and now they have been demoted because they stood up for what is the right thing. Same thing, no resources, people suffering. I could give you the details on that. I will provide you whistleblower for all of that. I'm not calling a name. One more thing. When I was in a master's program in the United States, the professor told us, the students, about her daughter, a straight A student, and that student became suicidal. And I want to share this with you, what she explained. You know, sometimes, if you're bright like that in Trinidad, they could say you're ready for sentence, right? This is not a case of sentence. This is a case for understanding medicine. And I want you to look into that. Like the people we're saying that are mentally sick and so on, you know what is happening? We are not treating them right. Sometimes you have a biological disorder and you're giving them the wrong medication, and that is what is causing them to be sick. So I want you to look into that and educate the people in terms of how they're supposed to treat their patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Leader.
We thank all the persons who came forward to share their concerns and their issues. Give them a round of applause, please. Thank you for sharing. And the love is there. Brenda, share the love with her. You know, when we raise these issues, as I said, it's so sad, but so many persons experience some of the matters we've spoken about. And I give you the assurance that we'll do the best that we can. When you put us there on the 28th, we'll do the best that we can to deal with the issues that have been raised. And I think we have neglected too many people in our country. We have not paid enough attention to all these issues that people experience, Roger and Dr. Chaitan. You want to speak again? Does she wish to speak? Yes? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Good night, everyone. My name is Helen Winnick. My candidate is Natalie Chaitan Muhammad Maharaj.
Good night, everyone. Something just happened about half an hour ago. Her children dad just came and took her three children.
One of my child father came with 3 officers and take him up tonight. I got legal custody of him on the 3rd of January this year. And they said I will get locked up if I don't hand over the child. The child has been molested and all these things. Allegation he's been making against the father, and it's been a cover-up. And a lot of racket going on, and I remember I should go. I need help.
Brenda, we are not hearing properly. Can you tell us what she said, please?
She said tonight her child father came with 3 officers and took the child away, a 10-year-old.
You need a lawyer. I think we have good lawyers in the audience. Prakash Ramada is there. Israel Khan is here. And there may be some other lawyers. Can you speak with one of them before? Prax will talk to you, please. Talk with Mr. Ramada before you leave, please, okay? Okay. We have a lot of lawyers in UNC. I'm sure one will help you. Okay, so I was giving it a wrap. Tomorrow, several meetings, community meetings taking place. On Saturday, we are in Las Lomas, in the constituency of La Joqueta Talparo on Saturday. And of course, we know it's the Easter weekend. So we'll put our campaigning on hold to celebrate Easter Sunday, certainly. Tomorrow, Good Friday. And if it is that some candidates are coming to see you in this holy time, always remember, I did not call the election at a time when so many holy events were taking place. So you had Eid, you had Hanuman Jayanti, you have the whole Lent season, the whole Ramadan season, and then now you're going into Easter. We didn't do it, but we have to come to talk with you. We have to share with you what our vision is, what our mission is, what our plans are. And therefore, we will continue as best as we can, but I've asked my candidates to go quietly, especially on Easter Sunday. Tomorrow, we don't have any national meetings, and on Sunday, we have no national meetings. So Saturday, Las Lomas, then on Tuesday, we are in the constituency of St. Joseph. Can you tell us where it's at?
Yes, all are invited. Aranguez St. Joseph, we are having at the First Capital Park. That's the park just below the medical facility, Medical Associates, and it starts at 7. Promises to be a grand affair. Powerful lineup of speakers, headed by our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and we are going to be rocking Aranguez St. Joseph. See and be there.
Thank you very much. And then on Thursday, we are back south, Maruga Tableland. And on Saturday, that's the election, the Saturday before elections, all roads lead to Aranguez Savannah. All roads lead on Saturday, the 26th, to Aranguez. And don't forget, election day is April late. The lady who told us, July, please everybody listen, April 28th, Monday, April 28th. And I've asked you stay home. Stay home and go and vote. And when you're finished voting, go and bring out everybody you know, all the persons around you, friends and family and neighbors. Let's get every single vote out on April 28th. Thank you all for all the love you've shown us in this campaign. Some persons who are working with us in the campaign, they said this is a campaign they're enjoying a lot, and when it ends, they'll be very sad. Because then we can't see, we will be sad too, because we wouldn't be able to see you on a regular basis. But I promise you we'll make the time to report to you, update you as we go into governance of our great country. Thank you, God bless, and thank to our brilliant panelists here tonight. When UNC wins, everybody wins. God bless and thank you.
We know how it sounds. Another speech, another promise. It's too good to be true. You're right to feel that way, because for too long, we've been told to expect less, to accept less. But this time, it's different. The UNC is ready to invest in you, in education that excites, industries that inspire, and opportunity that lifts us all. It's not a dream, it's a plan. On April 28th, vote UNC, because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
We stand united in the belief that if you empower community, the community empowers the country.
We are the party that gave every child a secondary school education since 2001.
By building more schools in 11 years than others did in 40. We believe that no child,
rich or poor, should be left behind.
Which is why we give every Form 1 student a laptop to expand their minds and their dreams.
We are the party that put police cars back on the streets
and gave the police a $1,000 bonus because we believe that we should support the persons who are protecting you.
We are the party that reduced the murder rate to its lowest in 14 years. We expanded GATE, stopped the property tax, and increased maternity leave.
We are the party that invested in you and your community by investing in schools, community centers, lighted parks, 24-hour health centers, and the most extensive road repair program in decades.
We believe that education is always the solution and that no one should have to pick between sending their child to school or buying food.
We are the party that works for you. We are the first responders in every situation, working to deliver a better standard of living for you and your family.
And most importantly, we have confidence in you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a campaign, it's a movement based on building communities and strengthening families.
Come out and join us, and together we will get the nation working and moving again. Our children will once again have access to GATE and technology.
We will improve healthcare.
By cutting the time it takes to see a doctor in an emergency, we will establish a senior citizen unit in every major hospital and staff the hospital with the doctors and nurses you need to create a first-class healthcare system. We will focus on creating high-paying jobs, fixing our laws to remove red tape, and ensuring that you and your family are safer. We will reduce corporate taxes to jumpstart the economy, create a special investment zone along the East-West corridor, and work with entrepreneurs to build a digital economy. This is an investment in your community to move the nation forward and get TNT working again.
Whether you are from 4th Street in Barataria to Railway Road in Dow Village, from Green Street in Tunapuna to Clark Road in Dibay, from La Hoqueta to Moruga, from Mayaro to Scarborough, we are one people with the same dreams of a better tomorrow. And when we stand together, we win together. We are UNC and proud.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream.
We know how it sounds. Another speech, another promise. It's too good to be true. You're right to feel that way, because for too long, we've been told to expect less, to accept less. But this time, it's different. The UNC is ready to invest in you, in education that excites, industries that inspire, and opportunity that lifts us all. It's not a dream, it's a plan. On April 28th, vote UNC, because when UNC wins, everybody wins.